These are unprecedented times, and the COVID-19 pandemic has caused extreme disruption socially and economically. The small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs have been the most vulnerable lot. They've been hit in three ways, I would say. One, there is a health shock, wherein when is the peak going to happen? For how long will this survive? How am I going to maintain my cash flow month after month? Where will I get my customers from? So there's a lot of you know um, mental anxiety that is going on in the ecosystem. The second, I would say, is the demand shock. 15 to 20% of the 15-20% of the market has been shut down. Business is not as it used to be, and it will never be. This is a paradigm shift. So what are the new ways where businesses would work? Certain sectors definitely have improved, but more at large, folks have incurred major losses. So there is a demand shock here as well. The third, I would say, is funding and private markets. Funding has really frozen. So more so in the US and Canada, but I'll stick to this region. Investors have become very conscious. They would prefer investing in their own companies rather than investing in a new company. So that's the third shock that these startups have got. They're taking it week after week. You have to pivot, you have to be creative, and you have to work as and when every week passes. Primarily, I would say we could divide them into three areas. One area, the top gainers. Second one, who have totally gone into hibernation, and then there's a middle sector who's got the cold dip, but then waiting and checking the water, so to say. So the folks who have got into hibernation primarily would be the tourism and leisure sector, aviation and maritime, automobiles, construction and real estate, manufacturing. They have been hard hit. The folks who would be the maximum gainers here would be the medical supply and services sector, food processing and retail, personal hygiene, ICT, e-commerce. Amazon's, everyone wants delivery, right? So those guys are the ones who are gaining a lot. The mid sector, I would say, would be agriculture, education, oil and gas. There are other reasons for oil and gas right now, but then if you ignore that, oil and gas, and the financial services, those folks, they're in the mid sector, so to say. Primarily, and being sector agnostic, I would say there are two kinds of startups here. One who have the runway for 12 months, the other who do not have it. So the ones who do not have it are most hard hit. If you talk about the folks who have got the capital for the next 12 to 15 months, they perhaps could use this time to work on making their business model more creative. Generally, you're firefighting so much as a startup that you ignore those lines. So this is the time to kind of see that, test and experiment to drive more efficiency. Cost structure, what could they change, which they earlier is important, but they could not put that much of effort earlier to it. So that's one. The second one, I would say, is the folks who do not have that 12 months runway. They're the most vulnerable. You have to cut costs to stay in business. They have to ensure that somehow they get that 12 months of runway or capital by getting government grants, banks financing, any programs that they could use. So I would primarily divide the whole startup sector into these two groups. So I would broadly divide that into three key areas. One would be the mental health, like we were talking about. So I would like to quote Cole here, who's the founder of DocDoc.com. We were having a session the other day, and he said something, I don't know whether his original line or not, that either you do the time or the time does to you. So it's like, how do you survive in these given times? So your mental health is really important. Because if you are not calm, how are you going to raise the storm? How are you going to lead your company? How are you going to tell your employees that, look, they have to look up to you? They're anxious. Their channel partners are anxious. Deals that were coming will not come. There is anxiety everywhere. So your personal mental health is very important. Number two, you would be making hard decisions, like you might have to, I would not encourage firing folks, but you might have to do certain stands on that. You might have to freeze hiring new folks. You cannot make that decision. But push comes to shove, if you have to make that decision, the other step is to do it in one go. Don't do it in waves. Think perhaps that you're helping your companies your employees who are already there, rather than the employees you have to let go of. You have to take these decisions. Second one I would say is operations. Now operations, you would have to go lean. The time has gone to look at your P&L. It is more about cash flow, going back to the old times. How do you renegotiate OpEx? How is there any way to get your rent and warehouse expenditure down? You know, you should, again, that goes back to the 12-month cash flow issues. VCs are not helping here. Why? Because they themselves would want to invest in the companies that they've already invested in. It's adaptability. How do you stay in business? How do you be nimble? How do you be lean? That's how I would say it. Be creative. Talk to your partners more. Talk to your staff. Talk to your vendors. Talk about how you can cut down the cost, how you could make the cost variable and not fixed, so that you could survive through these 12 to 15 months, which is critical right now.